it's raining outside, so this will be my first putting stuff away whilst it's raining. I'm completely dry. Nothing wrong in the tent. I've packed up absolutely everything I can. It's only the tent to pack up. I've got my waterproofs on. Time to get out. This is a viewpoint very early on in the morning. It's been raining overnight a little bit, but today's the day to get into Harpers Ferry, 20 miles. It was a tough 4 or 5 miles to begin with, and then I think it's a little bit easier after that. But yeah, a long, hard day yesterday, very, very tired. I think some of it was the emotion of the 1,000 miles. But we start the day with a bit of rain, and we'll see where we get to. It's a mucky old day today. Just got to get across this road and then back into the woods. Difficult to explain. You do have a heightened sense of smell, I think, as a hiker, but it smells different with it raining. It's constant rain, but sort of a freshness, but yeah, difficult to explain. So I'm just pushing on, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles, and then apparently it's the easier bit into Harpers Ferry. But it's one of those funny things for hikers. So you put your waterproofs on and all you do is sweat inside. So you open the waterproofs up and you just get wet. So sweat seems to wick away a heck of a lot quicker than rain, so you just put up with being hot. Big section of rocks coming up. Up through the forest in the rain. Come out to a viewpoint. Oh, still raining, but just a bit of breeze. Whew. So through the rainy forest. You can always pick up how bright green it is on film, but yeah, it's bright green. Relentless rain since, I don't know, about 5:30 this morning. So about 9 now. I've done 4 or 5 miles. I think I've done the harder bit, but you never know. You read all these comments in Far Out saying this bit's easy, this bit's hard. Bottom line is, they're miles. You just got to do them. And what's easy for one person is hard for another. Not everybody's 6'4" and 23. But, whew, what a day. One of the few log sort of cutaways that they do. Who's used the cutaway as a step. There you go. Well done, Virginia. Day 68. Day 67 was a 1,000 mile day. That was a tough day, probably tough day emotionally, but a tough day walking wise as well. We did about 23 miles, which is quite a lot for me, sort of the edge of what I can do. So yeah, that was a whew. And then Got some incredible trail magic at the hostel from Queen Diva, who gave me some salad and spaghetti and meatballs and a bit of garlic bread, and just love, really. So thank you to her. Very, very gratefully received. Today is a sort of 20-mile drop down into Harpers Ferry. It started raining about 5:30 in the morning, so I actually packed everything up and was gone by, I don't know, about 7ish. Somebody in the hostel cooked me some pancakes. That was very kind. The rain has just stopped, and Memorial Day week, Monday, so there are quite a lot of people out for a walk, so that's quite nice. The rain has stopped, so I can start to dry my waterproofs. The top is sodden. It's just, you have waterproofs on top, you go up hills, you get really sweaty, so should dry in the next hour or so, so that'd be fine. But yeah, didn't really do anything yesterday in terms of videoing a commentary, because I was just so tired. And later on in the evening we went to a brewery, and when we were all discussing it together, we all agreed that actually we all felt yesterday we were just tired. And we think it's the 1,000 marker and the big part it plays. But today's a new day. Hopefully we'll get into Harpers Ferry by about 3 in the afternoon, and then go and find some accommodation. So let's see where the day takes us. When you're planning your day and thinking about shelters to get to, one of the big points that you go through is how far away is the shelter from the trail. Some of them are 0.4 down a hill. So you tend to, 0.4 down a hill means you're doing 0.8, almost an extra mile just to get to a shelter, so often you miss those out. This one says it's 100 yards, but I can see it already. And you have this marvellous anticipation, because you can never see the shelter, and then suddenly it comes into view. Now this is for anyone who uses atweather.org to get their weather. You put in your trail, you put in your state, and it then provides you with a list of shelters for that state. Virginia had a very long list. This is the last one. It's quite a spectacular one because it's got a huge veranda, which is quite unusual. But the broad makeup of shelters is exactly the same. In Virginia, this is a sort of a typical tent site that they give you near to the shelter. Most places just give you a space. So for example, that is a good enough space for a tent. Water and privy trails are generally signposted with a blue marker, so you follow those. And eventually you come to a water source where you get your water before you filter it. It's quite rare for a shelter to have a veranda, but essentially people sleep in here like sardines, heads at the front, feet at the bottom. If there are mice in shelters, they generally run around the outside or up in the rafters. This one's got loads and loads of pegs to lift your bags off. Got into the shelter, and there's a little rain flurry, so don't have to deal with that. Hello. I'm doing the AT. Yes, I am. Don't shake your head. I gotta go? Okay. Going under the interstate. I presume it's an interstate. The Shenandoah River in front. So, looks like we're going back up and round. Just looking down the Shenandoah River. Very low level. Lots of people out on the rocks in between. And I presume that's the way I have to go.